You could kiss 100 boys in bars. Shoot another shot just to stop the feeling. You could say it's just the way you are. Another excuse, another stupid reason. How's it going, everybody? It is Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Very interesting live stream waiting for us. We are about to take a little look-see-poo at. Oh my gosh, a new Beck episode. Beck is responding to more of Mr. Snowflake's community asking questions that they would like to know. Well, I don't know. If other people are doing part 2, should we do a part 2? Maybe we should do a part 2. You know what, though? If we're going to do a part 2, I want it to be spicy. I want it to push the limits. I want it to be like, oh my God, did he really just ask that? Oh my gosh. Do you think that Beck is going to feel comfortable answering that? I want it to test the limits of Girl World. I want to push new boundaries. I want to go to places girls have never been before, which is most places. Oh my God. Too funny. But yeah, we have a new Beck video to take a look at. Definitely pretty spicy from what I have heard. I have not watched this video all the way through. I've watched the first 10 minutes, and then the other half I didn't. Well, if it isn't Mr. Snowflake. You thief! Get your own ideas. Well, you know what? Maybe he's right. Maybe I should come up with my own idea. Something just entirely out of the box. Maybe a Q&A is too easy. Maybe we'll do like a live action performance reenactment of season 4 that Beck can react to or so. I don't know. Maybe a Q&A is too easy. We're out of the box thinkers here. We can think of something. Tomato emoji. I got tomato emoji'd by my own mod in my own chat. Well, that wouldn't be the first time, actually. Oh. Hi, Tiger Roll. I am sick. Actually, no, I feel good today. I can breathe out of both nostrils. I went to the dentist this morning. Throat sounds clear. I don't know. I think this year 6 stuff just might be projection. That's fine. I've been projected at before. We need an AmberCon. Where would we have it, though? AmberCon. You think we could get Madison Square Garden for that? What do you think? Good night, Mr. Blizzard. In Pennsylvania. I mean, I'd imagine most Girl World users are from North America. So I'm thinking like maybe the best place to do it would be like, I don't know, Cornwall, Ontario. I'm just like thinking of random locations. Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Maybe that would be a good place to do it. Lexington, Kentucky. Bora Bora. I mean, I'm just thinking of random locations. Seattle, Washington. I don't know. We could come up with something. AmberCon. Too funny. Too funny. But yes, today we are going to be taking a look at Beck's latest upload. This is part something of their series in which they are reacting to reaction channels, asking questions about what went down during the time that they were in a relationship with Amberlynn. A lot of juicy information has been spilled from these Q&As. I really, really, really like that Beck is doing this piecemeal, and this is really being executed as death by 1,000 cuts. I mean, it would be a little too much just to come out with a tell-all video and say this and this and this and just give us like a whole list of everything. I think that that would be a little bit overwhelming for the community. We need a choosy one week. We need an inheritance stolen disclosure another week. We need a she needed wipe for 2 years a separate week. You know what I mean? It's nice to space it out. So I really appreciate it that Beck is doing it that way. Oh, God. Hi, Lakaya. I don't know. I'm really enjoying Beck's series that they have been uploading. I think that they're really well done. I think that Beck is coming very prepared. They sound confident and just ready to just give everything right back to Amber that Amber was so flippantly giving them in years past. Rice Noodles, thank you. The world is burning, and you're my only escape, Jordy. Oh, are there more wildfires or something? I hadn't seen. What's that one lyric? The world's on fire, how about yours? Is that Smash Mouth? I think that's Smash Mouth. Oh, well, yeah, that's shitty, Rice Noodles. Well, hey, we'll always have live streams, maybe. Susical Lice, thank you for 11 months. Ran here faster than a beanbag and a curry, which isn't very fast. Thank you, Susical Lice. Appreciate your 11-month subscription. Ella May, thank you. I was thinking about skipping my workout, but I think that this is a sign. Don't skip that workout. You'll feel better once it's over. Use Amberlynn for motivation. I want you to look at the girls and think, okay, this is what I could be. So let me run in the opposite direction. Have a good workout, hon. Hannah Life, hello. I'm so sorry to hear that about your best friend. Oh, God. Yeah. Somebody said something along the lines of that yesterday, and it's just, yeah, life comes at you fast. It really does. Life has a funny way of bringing us to our knees. Ugh. I'm so sorry to hear that, Hannah Life. I hope you enjoy tonight's stream. Hope you have a good rest of your week, hon. Foxy Grandpa, hello. Wanted to stop in and say hi. I'll be catching the replay. Well, thank you so much. I love being caught. I'll have to come up with a new one. I'm really like overusing that lately. Really appreciate the super chat. Thank you, Foxy. Okay, how about we get started? What do y'all think? What do you think? Please tell me the title isn't real. Oh, the title's real. Steal-in Greed. Y'all. We thought we got her yesterday with Peter Griffin. She's already getting new names. Hamburglar. I can't imagine the nicknames that will come out of Amberlynn in regards to stealing. It's just gross. I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised. But I mean, it's just like, it really is. If you guys think like throughout all of last year, all of season 6, all of what has been going on recently with all of Beck's uploads. I mean, Amberlynn is just catching stray after stray after stray after stray. I mean, she literally cannot come up for air. And, you know, as someone once said, no rest for the wicked. I mean, she really is going to have a difficult time explaining this, but something tells me that she's not going to make an attempt to explain it at all. It's just going to be more of, well, if I speak on this, then it's going to fuel negativity, and I don't want to fuel negativity, so I am choosing to remove myself from the situation to protect my 20-piece. I'm not going to be saying anything. Some of the things that Beck said in their video was true. I'll admit that. I'll admit to this very non-disclosure, vague accusation. Yes, that means absolutely nothing. Yes, I'll say that. But some of the things they also said in their video, they were just flat out lies. And I'm also not going to disclose what they lied about. So you guys can pick and choose on your own volition, because I'm not going to specify. Because as soon as I specify and I give examples, then you guys will back me into a corner that I'm in a tighter corner that I'm already in. Oh, what a piece of work. But let's dissect Beck's newest upload. Really, really looking forward to watching this with you guys. Les pick. Les pick. Les keep my ex's inheritance. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's one thing to not share your earnings with Beck, despite them quite literally being your personal caregiver, despite literally them being your personal chauffeur, despite literally them being your personal RN, everything of the sort. But when an opportunity comes up where they can get a little bit ahead and they can have a little bit of a safety net, to completely rip that safety net up so that they cannot have that, to further isolate them into a position where they are reliant on you, that's just a whole level of sinister that's just so gross. So gross. Now more than ever, over the past year, of the behavior and the types of things that I have seen, witnessed, and heard about Amberlynn Reed, she deserves all of this shit. She deserves all of the shit that she gets. She really does. I mean, just absolute trash human. Absolute trash human. I don't know if someone like this is redeemable. That's kind of why I haven't really leaned into providing advice for this woman, because, well, one, she doesn't take it, and two, I don't know if there's redeeming someone like this. I don't know if a person like this is capable of seeing the fault in their past mistakes. They have no interest in taking accountability, no interest in taking responsibility, no interest in righting the wrongs of the past. I don't know if there's a path to redemption for someone like this. I really don't. So let the train wreck commence. Blossom, thank you. Spent a few days comparing clips of Amber to the clip of the Tum Tum leg debate. I put them side by side. It is, in fact, a chunk of lipedema on the leg. It is now my life's work. What? Oh my gosh. Some more forensic files coming up into Girl World. I love it. So you've determined that the discussion we had a couple weeks ago of Tum Tum versus leg. So by comparing photos, you were able to determine that it was lipedema from the leg. It was not Tum Tum. Interesting findings. Huh. I wouldn't mind looking over your case file. Thank you, Blossom. Stop and smell the roses. I appreciate your 13-month subscription. Just want to say, Amber's the worst. Give Beck their money, Amber. Write Beck a check. You know what? I've been saying $25,000. Write Beck a check for $40,000. This is disgusting. I mean, to take the last of the money that their mother passed away from, that they were able to pass on to Beck. I mean, just completely just gross behavior. But, I mean, you know, this is Amberlynn, so expect that. All right, let's get started.
Hey guys, I'm back with another video. This will be part 2 of my Q&A with Mr. Snowflake. I want to thank Mr. Snowflake so much for putting this video together, and to everyone who asked me questions. I appreciate it so much. I did my best to give as much detail as I could in each answer, and I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it.
Hi everybody, and welcome to part 2 of the audience's questions for Beck. Morning after the night before, morning after Amber's taking accountability video. Be interesting to see Beck's take on that, because that was just new levels of patheticness. I just can't believe how terrible it was. Right. Anyway, thanks for all your questions again. This is part 2. There's enough for a part 3, because there's just so many. So I haven't asked them all here. I've had to really shorten it because there's so many good questions. So there is a part 3. But anyway, Part 2 for now. Thanks for your questions. Beck, thanks for agreeing to do this. I can't wait to see your response to that taking accountability. Right, here we go. Did Amber ever show what you think was genuine fear or concern when it came to her health and lack of mobility? Or does she just not care if she dies before 50? And did anything genuinely change after the cancer in terms of attitude or trying to get better, even if just temporarily? Good question.
She would sometimes cry and get upset.
So the question was asking, you're on a downward spiral, and you probably won't live to see 50. Does that bother you? Are you just okay with that? Have you made peace with that? Are you aware of your own mortality? Do you just choose to ignore it? What's the deal?
Said about her weight. When I'd speak to her about it, what hurt her the most was always that she felt she would never be her goal weight and that she would never look the way she wanted to look. Weight loss is hard. I know it is. But it's been so many years since she started her channel that she could have reached that goal in a healthy way, including any slip-ups along the way by now, if she had really wanted to. I think what upset her most was not looking how she wanted to. Health was not the priority at all. Her career on YouTube was much more important than her health, and she said as much multiple times. If she were to lose weight or not be a train wreck, she wouldn't have as many viewers, and that was the most important thing to her, more than any concern for herself, those around her, or anything else. Nothing changed after.
Wow. I mean, this is a conversation we've had before with Amberlynn. I don't want to lose weight because if I lose weight, people will lose interest in me. And if people lose interest in me, I won't be able to make money on the internet. And if I'm not able to make money on the internet, I'm going to have to get an actual 9-to-5. And getting an actual 9-to-5 and putting in genuine effort and having to go to work and having to commute and having to actually be like a functional adult, like that scares me. That terrifies me. So I don't want to do that. So therefore, this process, this very, linear process that I just laid out, stay fat to not get job. That's basically what it comes down to. The other point about her wanting to be thin and look good versus being healthy, I mean, that's not exclusive to Amberlynn. I think a lot of people think that way. Well, I don't really care if I'm healthy per se. I just want to look good. I just want to be sexy. I don't really care if like my cholesterol, my blood pressure and all that's like at the right levels and everything. I mean, if I look hot and I'm able to attract the partner that I want, that's okay with me. That doesn't surprise me that Amberlynn thinks that way.
After her diagnosis.
Did you notice that Amberlynn tends to chameleon herself to be just like the people around her, especially her partners, whether it...
She won't lose enough weight that she fits behind a steering wheel. She'd have to drive herself to Walmart. Yeah, I mean, honestly, maybe it comes down to like, other than just like her having to get a job, it would be facing her fears, because if she gets a job, then she'll need to find a way to get to the job, which would mean transportation. And she's probably thinking to herself like, well, what if I can't get somebody to drive me to work? What if I can't find public transportation to get to work? Well, then I would have to drive. Well, driving terrifies me. So honestly, it's anxiety. Like when you look down into like the root of Amberlynn's issues, like when you go through that very linear process as to why she thinks the way that she thinks, you kind of get to the end point and it's like, oh, she's anxious about driving. Oh, she's lazy. Oh, she doesn't want a job that isn't filming 10 minutes a week that makes a 5-figure income every month. And I mean, honestly, as good as Amberlynn has it financially, I mean, I think that pales in comparison to actually like having life. I mean, I don't know if you can necessarily put a price tag on numbers of years that you're here on this planet. So, I mean, if you want to live fast, die young, essentially, I guess that's your prerogative, but it doesn't really seem like you're doing much living. I think that Amberlynn would be a lot happier if she wasn't a part of a drama community online and she was making significantly less, but doing something she loved. But I mean, that's something that a lot of people think about in life. It's like, well, should I put my ass in med school? Should I become a doctor? Should I work all these crazy hours so that I can make $400,000 a year? Or should I take the teaching job and make $80,000 a year and do what I love and enjoy life, but not have all that money? I mean, but it really doesn't even seem like in Amberlynn's case, she's really benefiting from either, because in the scenario where she's making more money, she's not really happy. So I don't know. I think it just comes down to anxiety being roadblocks for her. You got to push through that. You got to identify what's wrong and why you think the way you think. I think she's too far gone. I do too, Danny. Turtle, thank you. Beck spilled more tea, and Destiny and Beck are collabing soon. What a time to be alive. Nice to see you. Yeah, if you guys didn't see on last night's live stream, Destiny actually put up a community tab on her channel saying that she was moving at the moment, and once she was settled and, you know, got everything figured out, she would get into reactions again, and that Destiny has talked to Beck off of YouTube, and they are planning to do some type of collab. I don't know if that's a live stream. I don't know if that's going to be a pre-recorded video. I'm not exactly sure what that entails. But Destiny and Beck are planning something. Oh, gosh. Beck also, sorry, not Beck. Destiny also disclosed in her community tab that she reached out to Libby. And she asked her, well, I'm not exactly sure what she asked Libby, but she has not received a response yet. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like Destiny and Libby are in correspondence. They're like not, it doesn't really seem like they're really talking. So I don't know if this is maybe something like she had to pull out an old contact from years past in her phone book, or look into social media and send her a DM or something. I don't know. We'll have to see. If Libby talks, just wow. I don't know. It would be interesting to see Libby speak out on all of that crap that went on back then. It would be interesting to see her perspective now, because like, how old is she? She's, it was like 15. She's like, I think she's 3 years younger than me. So she's like 25, 20, 24, 20. It would be interesting to see from the perspective of a 24 or 25-year-old how they viewed their social circle and the things that were happening when they were 15, when she is now Amberlynn's age, when Amberlynn was 25 back in those videos. It's interesting to see, like, how you grow up and then how you look on your past and you're like, oh, wow, that went down that way, huh? I'd love to hear Libby's point of view. I really would. Kitsch, Stitch, and Chaos, thank you. Babe snoozing, crow's fed, crochet is stitching. Let's get bitchy. I love it. I love your daily routine. Thank you for setting that in. Libby probably has kids by now. I don't know a thing about her. Don't know a thing about her. If only Jade would talk. Because Jade didn't want to get mixed up in all this when it was her season. So why would she come back for the reunion? You know what I mean? Why you don't come back for an All-Stars season when you tank your original season? It doesn't work that way. I highly, highly doubt. I think that we would get a tell-all from Crystal before we would Jade. Buzzball Supernova, thank you. How do I send you the Grimace Tumblr? From Australia? You're going to send me the Grimace Tumblr? Oh, God. I actually had somebody send me a Tumblr that was 2 Halloweens ago. It was this green glow-in-the-dark one I really wanted to get my hands on, and somebody found it at their college campus, funny enough. If you're serious about actually sending me that Grimace Tumblr, reach out to me on Twitter or X. What do I say? They're the same thing. Twitter or Instagram. Reach out to me on Twitter or Instagram on DMs, and we can work something out. Thank you so much, Supernova. Moonface Pondu, thank you for your memberships. Just when Girl World was getting dull, we get the gift of the X's. By the way, this August makes 32 years since I had my wisdom teeth removed. Oh my God, we'll have to throw a tooth party for you. That's really exciting. Yes, it's interesting to see these uploads.
Being towards you, or maybe when she was around Destiny/Dana, Jade, or her mom. One of the most fascinating things about Amber is her recording herself morphing into different Lyns. Did you notice that? I noticed it, and I don't notice anything.
I did notice that, and so did everyone around her. That was something that I'd brought up to her multiple times, and so did her friends. When we confronted her, she would say that she didn't realize that she was even doing it, and that it wasn't on purpose. I always thought it was her way of trying to fit in with the people around her. I don't think she has ever truly been confident in herself or in her own interests enough to just be herself around people. Or maybe she knew that who she really wasn't as likable as the people she wanted to befriend, so it was easier to act like them than to be judged or scrutinized for her own personality and behavior. I think it's important to find people who like you for who you are. But I think she didn't feel like that was possible, so she had to be someone else with everyone. If she had just been herself, she could have formed real friendships a long time ago and been actually working on herself and improving all this time.
She always tries to change it.
I think that was really well said. That's the type of behavior you see a lot in middle school. Girl World really does go back to middle school in a lot of regards. Kind of morphing yourself into the people that you want to be surrounded with because you think that they're cool, or you think that would bring you social status, or it would bring you, I don't know, something. But yeah, it's better to just be yourself, because then that will attract the people that you're meant to be around. Because if you're constantly having to put up a facade and act like other people, then, I mean, that'll get exhausting. That's kind of why it's not a good idea to do that, like, when you get into dating, because it's... Speaking of Tinder, because it's like, if you're going to put up that facade, you're going to have to put up that facade forever. So why put it up to begin with? You know, if you're making it out to be like you enjoy hiking and you enjoy exercising and you're not actually someone that just enjoys laying around watching Netflix all the time, I mean... I don't know why people do that. I mean, I do. It's because they think that it'll make them happier in the long run, and they think it's what they're supposed to do, and they think will get them what they want in life. But you're just setting yourself up for failure doing that. So I think that Amberlynn thought to herself, well, I have a gross personality. No one's going to like me. I look gross. I act gross. I mean, who wants to be friends with someone that's gross? So... let me go ahead and tailor my personality, my interests, my vernacular to those who are around me so that they actually like me and actually want me around. In addition to that, I think that Amberlynn used money to win people over as well. I think that Amberlynn purchased a lot of things for Destiny and Dana to keep them around, bought things for some of the various side characters over the years to kind of show them, hey, I'm worth something. I think as recent as season 5, when she and Jade would go out to dinner with Eric and Ricky, and then they would go for frozen yogurt, and they would go to Target, and I think that Amberlynn was picking up the bill. Oh, hey, boys, you want to meet us for Olive Garden dinner tonight? My treat. I think that Amberlynn does that because she realizes she doesn't have much to bring to the table other than food for herself. So let me make up for it in the ways of... Let me pick up the tab. Well, let me do this. Oh my God, your interests are now my interests, and I'll pay. Don't you want to be around me now? Katie Bird, thank you so much for those 20 gifted memberships. I really appreciate that. Oh my goodness. Welcome to all of our new members. Our community expands once again. Thank you, Katie Bird. That was really generous of you. Let's get some bird emojis up in the house for our lovely moderator, Miss Katie Bird, and her generosity. Always expanding the community. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Katie Bird. Truly. She can't afford to buy friends anymore. Yeah. And, you know, I think that that's what she was trying to do with Emily. I mean, obviously, I could make guesses, but she was trying to do something toward the end of, if they're actually broken up, she was trying to do something at the end of their relationship that involved making more money so that she could do something for Emily to try to keep her on board. Oh, you lost your job? Well, I'll do members only live streams. I'll start to do cameos. I'll sell merch. I'll start to upload every other day and actually stick to a schedule. I'll have more money coming in. Let me go ahead and help you. Amberlynn kind of does act like a mobster. She does act like something out of the mafia. Like, oh, let me do this for you. But no gift is actually a gift. You pay it back. You pay it back. Ugh. Clever Bee, thank you for your membership. I'm trying to recruit my husband. He acts like he's not interested, but I see him peeking. Hey, Clever Bee's husband, we see you peeking. Don't be ashamed. Don't worry. Getting involved in girl world isn't going to threaten your masculinity. I promise you. And if it does, no one's going to find out about it. Come on, Clever Bee's husband. Come on over. Mackenzie, thank you. My boyfriend and I want to put in a request for the Fat Hall of Fame, having a tray to eat in the car and watching food videos while eating. We love watching you. You know what? I have actually considered buying one of those trays before. I don't really so much do it anymore, but I used to make eating in my car videos on my other channel pretty frequently. I don't really do it anymore, though. And I considered buying one of those trays. I don't know. That's a little too specialized. That's a little bit too particular of an example. Fat Hall of Fame has to just be like, that's egregiously fat. I can't believe you would do that. Like, that's specific to like YouTubers. I don't know. Like I said, the Fat Hall of Fame is hard to get into. It's like the Harvard of girl world. Thank you, Mackenzie and Mackenzie's boyfriend. Creeping Void, thank you for your membership.
Personality, but she always comes across as a douche. Doesn't matter which personality she picks, it's douche, 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 douche. So she needs to get better at that. Did Amber ever admit to lying about a disorder? There's so many examples of her lying about being diagnosed with stuff.
She never admitted to lying about a disorder, but I think that's because she genuinely believes that she has every single one that she says she has. She would self-diagnose constantly based on how she felt and a few Google searches. She was constantly worried about every symptom she had, so she would always come up with a diagnosis on her own.
And people who do this, I mean, I'm speaking from experience because I was kind of like this a little bit. Like in college, like I went through like a little thing where I was like, oh God, like I was having like anxiety issues and stuff. People who sit around, people who don't do anything, people who just constantly play on their phone, Googling their symptoms. Oh my God. I've talked about it in other episodes before, but I was on this one website when I was trying to get off Lexapro called Surviving Antidepressants. I don't know if it's still a website, but it's just like this hive mind of people coming together and just talking about antidepressants and like how it's ruining their life. And it's like, oh my God, my blood pressure went up 1 point. Am I having a stroke? Like just like crazy shit like that. You become a hypochondriac when you do this all the time. When you just sit around and play on your phone and everything. You can't use WebMD. You can't use Google as like the barometer of if you're doing okay or not. See a doctor, get checked out, do a wellness check. You can't constantly be anxious like this. It'll ruin your life.
For each one. It's a bad habit and not a good way to find out what's really going on with you. She would go to the ER so often, but rarely or never go to a primary care physician, OBGYN, psychologist, or therapist who could have been much more helpful. And as we know, when she would go see those doctors, it would just be a few times before she would never go again.
Amber has accused you of not allowing her to explore her bisexuality. Did she also prevent you from expressing your desire to be... See my little Jupiter's Delight smile? It's because it's coming up in in a video. Wow. She seems very upset by the implication that she would date anyone that isn't expressly she, her.
While with Amber, she would be very defensive anytime I'd try to ask her if she may be bisexual. She would say no and accuse me of trying to label her or change who she was. I'd ask about it because she would talk a lot about being with guys, the incident at the movie theater, and about other things she did. It was okay to talk about, but it felt odd to me just how often it was brought up. I think back on it now, and I do think that she might have said those things so often to get some kind of reaction out of me. Maybe to see if I'd get jealous about it. I do understand being confused about your identity and wanting to explore that, but
Did you see Alexis's new community tab? No, what does it say?
I was never really given that opportunity to support her or to allow her to explore that part of her. We didn't talk more about it because she was so adamant that she only liked women and would shut me down anytime I asked about possibly being bi. I think it did affect me in a way, especially after the breakup, and once she opened up more about it while with Jade. Jade was bisexual and poly, and Amber started to explore that more with Jade. At some point, and I've admitted this before,
I wonder what that means. I mean, we knew that Jade was poly. Amberlynn told us that very early on. And that followed her into season 5 and really haunted her for a while. I didn't know that Jade was bisexual. But I wonder what Beck means here when they say that Amberlynn explored that a little bit more.
I think I let myself feel a little bit like if I were to be with a bi woman, she would eventually leave me for a man. That was an awful way of thinking and really pushed an awful stereotype as well as erasing the experience of bi individuals. I hate that I let myself have those thoughts. And I'm so sorry to anyone who may have noticed that I felt that way and were hurt by it. It was an awful way to view things. I've worked really hard to no longer have that type of bias anymore. I understand now that my
Amber commenting on trying men in that era. I do remember, I don't know if it was something that came out of Amberlynn's mouth, but I do remember somebody writing something, or it was like behind the scenes tea, basically Jade telling Amberlynn, you're gonna try men. They were gonna be poly. And you know, we never really got any clarifications or answers on the whole friend that they had at the apartment and stuff. I don't know if they had like a guy there hanging out with them or something, but something happened. Like they had a third in there at one point. I think at least. And yeah, that was an unfinished plot hole. Yeah, that never really got followed up with. And really the only person that we would ever get that plot hole filled in by would be Jade, because I wouldn't trust Amberlynn's take on it. Jade said "you will" in the background. Yeah, I'm kind of remembering that faintly, Galanthus. Like Amberlynn said something in regards to, I'm thinking about trying men, something along the lines of that. And you're saying Jade said in the background, "you will try men," like it's an item on a menu. Oh, God. Do we think he was normal looking? I don't know. That would be interesting. A poly arc in the Amberverse. Wow.
Experiences have nothing to do with bisexual women as a whole, and my experiences should never affect my expectations of others in the future. As for my experience as a non-binary person with Amber, I did bring it up a few times in our relationship. The only response I got was always, I don't know, you seem like a woman to me. It took me saying something publicly in a video recently to get...
Oh, well, I mean, that's not really for you to determine, Amber. If someone wants to think about their identity in a different way, if someone wants to label themselves as a different gender, if someone wants to, that's not really, well, I mean, you look like a girl, you talk like a girl, well, I guess you are a girl. I mean, that's not really for you. I mean, you didn't really seem like you were too supportive of it. Didn't really see, and it's funny because, I mean, here you are accusing Beck of not being supportive of you potentially wanting to explore your bi side, but in the same breath, when Beck talks about non-binary thoughts, well, you kind of look like a girl. And the only reason that she's respecting Beck's pronouns as of late is because Beck kind of forced her to. The community kind of forced her to. Aisha, thank you. This Snapchat or this super chat is dedicated to Amberlynn's social media manager. My husband loves your name. I missed you, Jordy and Shorties. Oh, thank you so much, Aisha. You hear that, Amber? Is Amber's social media manager in attendance on Twitch? They're usually getting into trouble. On Twitch, but I'll let them know. Thank you, Aisha. I appreciate you being here tonight. Hobie Grande, thank you. Today's my birthday. Happy catching you live. Oh my god. Happy birthday to you, Hobie. Hobie? Hobie. Happy birthday, hon. Hope it's a good one. Mandy, thank you for gifting a subscription to the Cookie Crumbles. Appreciate that. Thank you, Mandy. Allie, did you see Alexis made a community post? Does it say anything? I mean, whatever. We'll look at it. I mean, this is like the third person to bring it up. We can take a little look. Do I still follow Alexis on here? Is it Spidey Lex still? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I do. All right. I'm still subscribed. Yeah. Hey, everyone. I'll be posting a video either later tomorrow regarding Beck's Q&A with Mr. Snowflake and my thoughts on perspective on certain things. I'll be releasing new tea that has never been shown or discussed on YouTube before. Stay tuned. Oh. Now, I know that some of you don't like Alexis. I know that some of you roll your eyes whenever Alexis tries to get involved and everything, but I don't know. I do have to hand it to Alexis. Alexis gave us a lot of tea that we would have otherwise never had. So, I don't know. I mean, I'll definitely give this a look. I'll definitely give this a listen. Huh. Interesting. Jules, thank you for the super sticker, Jules. Bo Bay, hello. The Sims 4 finally brought back burglars today. I guess Amberlynn inspired them. Oh my god. I'm telling you. I think that this is full out Hamburglar. This is full out Hamburglar. No, we're not Grimace this week. We are Hamburglar. Are they also doing a Hamburglar Tumblr? Does anybody know? Oh god. Thank you, Bobe. Marin Elise, hello. Jordy loves his tea edged. I do. I like a little bit here, a little bit there. I mean, don't you guys too? I mean, if we got everything all at once, it would be next week. It'd be like, okay, this is boring. Now what? I mean, it kind of is. Girl World is like a soap opera. I mean, don't you guys want something fresh and new every day? When you pull up your YouTube tab, don't you like think, oh my god, did you see what happened? Like come on, like it's better when it's piecemeal. Allie Lou, thank you. Do we think Steel Lynn will actually clock in tonight? Oh yeah, isn't her members only live stream supposed to be tonight? Is it 9 o'clock? Oh, it's like literally like right now, like 5 minutes from now. I don't know.
Get her to respect my pronouns and names.
But she probably is more likely to go live because the people that are paying to talk to her, it's like her hug box. It's like people that, you know, gas her up and tell her like, oh, you know, whatever. Like they just tell her what she wants to hear. And if they actually call her on her shit and say like, you know, address the Beck thing, she'll just block them. And then they're out $10. So it's kind of like her little safe haven. So maybe she will.
So I don't think that if I'd come out at that time that she would have respected that decision.
What was the worst argument you and Amber got into? I'm sure it's all just molded into one horrible hue, but does anything stand out?
You're right. There was so much fighting that it has all melted together in my memory, and they were all really difficult. It's hard to pick out just one. I think the arguments that stand out the most for me are the ones where I got so overwhelmed that I had to leave the house and get away. One time, Amber, Eric, Ricky, and I were watching Adventure Time, and Eric changed the channel without asking. Amber, even though she did not like Adventure Time, and even though it was Eric's TV, had a huge blow up. I'd had enough, and I left without grabbing my wallet, my bra, or shoes. I drove an hour to my sister's and showed up at her doorstep barefoot and crying. I just wanted to escape.
What was the date of the We Have Broke Up?
So someone else's TV, someone else's show, and Amberlynn decided to throw a temper tantrum because someone turned off Adventure Time. Oh, I mean, I'm just telling you right now, I wouldn't have put up with that shit. I mean, I wouldn't have put up with any of Amber's shit. But that, no. I mean, you don't act like that. You don't throw temper tantrums over someone changing the channel. I mean, so honest to God, like, what are you, like 4 years old? Are you 4 years old having a meltdown because you didn't get the toy you wanted in your Happy Meal? Changing the channel. I mean, at that point, what was she, like 30? 29 or 30? I mean, that would be like me. Like, because I'm 28, so she was like 28 through 30, that age range. That would be like me freaking, like losing my shit over someone changing the channel. You can't relate. Veronica, thank you. I'll read your super chat just so it can... I'll read your super chat because it might give something people to ponder. But as far as giving my own opinion, I'm going to abstain. Veronica Lynn asks, this is no tea or shade to those recovering, but Amberlynn was raised by two addicts. Do y'all think that she picked up game, seeing how they used people to get what they wanted? Thank you, Veronica. Harry Lover, thank you for 4 months. 4 months of giving this basement-dwelling vampire my money. Sad. Oh. Well, I'm trying to afford a new coffin. I want to get a bedazzled one. Thank you, Harry Lover. Minky Medulla, hello. So happy to catch you live. Love you. This is getting sad. What a nightmare. Oh, getting. Babes, this has been sad for a while. Thank you, Minky.
Live stream like? Great question. What was the pre-live stream, and more importantly, what was the post-live stream like? Good question. You know, I don't think about these things. The live stream itself was so uncomfortable, with ALR just staring off into the distance and making Beck do all the talking and responding to the chat. What was the rest of the day like? Yeah.
The day of the We Broke Up live stream was really stressful. She spent the day asking me if I was sure about my decision, guilting me about how she wasn't sure what she would do without me, trying her hardest to make me feel awful. I wouldn't be there to take care of her anymore, and that's what she was most affected by. During that live stream and the following ones, it was obvious to me that she was trying to insult me and put me down to the audience. She really thought she was being clever. I knew I had to be there until I could get my things to move out, and with the promise of being paid monthly to help me get back on my feet, I tried to keep things amicable. I did try to clap back a few times, though. For over a week, it was an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, I mean, as much as Beck probably wanted to pop off, as much as Beck probably wanted to give Amberlynn everything that she was giving back, I mean, it's like, it's hard to pop off on someone like that because, you know, they're the ones that kind of decide if they give you money or not. They're the ones that are kind of... So, I mean, Amberlynn really was in a position of power at that point, and she kind of held the keys to the kingdom, so to speak. So, Beck really couldn't fly off the handle. Beck really couldn't say what they wanted to say. So, it was difficult. But yeah, I can imagine that at that point, Amberlynn was probably really trying to pile on the guilt, really trying, who's gonna wipe me? Who's gonna take my DoorDash orders from the door to the couch? Who's gonna drive me to Walmart? I'm not gonna have anybody. I'm not, I mean, like, if you're in that position where you need somebody to wait on you hand and foot, I mean, it's your own fault. It really is. In Amberlynn's regard, I understand that there are situations that people get themselves into and, you know, disabilities and things like that. But in this scenario here with Amberlynn, her own damn fault. Who's going to wipe me? Well, you shouldn't have isolated and treated someone to the point where they were your caregiver to get to 600 pounds that you need to be wiped. Who's going to wipe me? I mean, not my problem. Not my problem. I don't know. Somebody else. You? Yourself? Walk your ass to Walmart. Honestly, I mean, we know from Destiny that she walked home from Walmart that one time. Why can't she do it again? Walk to Walmart. Yeah, really. You're so anxious about driving there? Walk then. They're addicted to being cared for. I would like to hear from Amberlynn. I would like to hear from someone who knew Amberlynn as a child. Well, I mean, the thing about that is Amberlynn was always moving around so frequently, so she was never really able to put down roots or make friendships. Maybe some of you can relate to that. Like, if you're constantly moving around, I know people that are in, like, military families, like, constantly being stationed somewhere else and, like, not really being able to have memories or friends and, like, always being the new kid. I mean, Amberlynn was, like, in and out of a lot of foster homes, like, not really in the same school for so long, so I don't know. Missing, thank you for 7 months. This is feeling more and more like a series finale. I don't know, missing. Aisha, thank you. Live fast, die young. Fat girls do it best. Oh my god. That's a MIA song, right? Live fast, die young. Fat girls do it well. Oh, thank you, Isha. Oh my gosh. Buttered noodles, thank you. My boyfriend swears Amberlynn must hold a world record. Biggest woman to ever do something, but I can't think of the answer. Maybe nothing. Achieved the least. Biggest woman to never achieve anything. I don't know if they document records like that, but maybe. She dated the same guy she knew from 2nd grade in high school. Yeah, but I mean, like, do those people even know? I mean, like, you guys have to remember, like, we're not a very big corner of YouTube. I mean, we are kind of like a niche community. So, I mean, for this to, like, bleed out and, like, get into, like, people's social media feeds so that they could be like, oh, I remember that girl. Oh, I grew up with her. Like, I don't know. We're kind of small. We're small. We're small. SMOL. Barry, thank you for 5 gifted memberships on YouTube. Welcome to all of our new members. We have expanded. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Courtesy of Barry. Let's get some Barry-related emojis up in here for Barry's generosity. Maybe a strawberry. Is there a blueberry emoji? I don't know. Well, hey, at the very least, we have a strawberry emoji.
Going from being completely fine to begging for me to come back, then emotionally manipulating me in an effort to get me to rethink my decision, and then being angry at me. Once Jade came into the picture, all manipulation toward getting me back ended, and there were no longer any moments of being nice.
Yeah, because you weren't needed anymore. Oh. Well, I have Jade now. I have Wipey. I have a new and improved Goral. I don't need you anymore. Piss off.
To me, everything became about rubbing this new relationship in my face and making sure I knew how quickly she had moved on and making the split up as hard for me as it could possibly be. She treated Jade much better than she'd ever treated me, and she made sure that I saw that.
I like this one. Thank you so much, Beck, for speaking out against narcissistic abusers. It helped me recognize a lot of similarities in the...
And honestly, Jade should have realized that. I mean, Jade should not have just entered into that relationship thinking that Beck was 100% the problem. Everything that Amberlynn tells me about Beck is true. Everything that Amberlynn is saying about Beck, yeah, Beck's a horrible person. I'm going to take Amberlynn's word for it. The fact that Amberlynn was going out of her way to be exceptionally nice to Jade and giving her things, buying her things, just to rub it in Beck's face, Jade should have picked up on that. Oh. Well, if she'll do it for Beck, now that Beck isn't useful to her, who's to say that this kind of behavior won't eventually affect me? And it did.
Where one of my family members treats the rest of us. Families, man. Oh, don't get me started. And enabled me to start doing my own research on how to handle the situation. I have a question based on my own experience with that family member. Did Amber ever ridicule?
Jade thought she found a sugar mama. I mean, that was the prevailing theory when she first came onto the cast, but I mean, Beck kind of verified that they did work. Jade had jobs. Jade was a work from home. I mean, I don't know the extent of like her work or how much she made or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, she did benefit from getting gifts and stuff from Amberlynn, but I don't know. I mean, usually when you have a sugar daddy, sugar mama, sugar them, whatever, it doesn't come with all of that. Usually, I mean, you get sugar and then you have to provide sugar as well, kind of like a quid pro quo. Jade is corny for getting involved with Amberlynn as fast as she did. That's crazy. She uprooted her life and moved to another state for Amber of all people. Yeah, I mean, she was all in. Like, since, like, day one, she was all in. That happened very quickly. The dog's damn bark, thank you. Covert narcissists engage in chameleoning when they get into a new relationship. There is no cure for NPD. Karma, 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 chameleon. Thank you, dog's damn bark. Jade got her car, tattoos, Jordans, and bounced. Yeah, but did she leave the cast unscathed? We don't know. And as far as the car goes, I mean, I don't know if Beck would know this information, but I would love to know who paid for that thing. I really would. Or maybe like Amberlynn was paying the payments on it while Jade was still on the cast, but then Jade took the car afterwards and then picked up the payments afterwards. I don't know. But yeah, tattoos aren't cheap. I mean, those gigantic tattoos that Jade was getting on her arm and stuff, I mean, those aren't cheap. Yeah. I mean, she got a lot of gifts. Got a lot of shoes. I mean, Amber says that Jade paid for half of everything, you know, paid for rent, paid for all that. I mean, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see the actual financial breakdown. Beverly and Peach, thank you. Does Amber really make 5 figures a month? Yes. Yes. Veronica Lynn, thank you. Not excusing her behavior. I should have elaborated. No excuse for her behavior. She is evil. She wants pity. No, it's not that there was anything wrong with your question or the statement that you made. It's just with certain touchy topics on here, it's better to just avoid them entirely. But as I saw in the feedback after I read your super chat, it looked like a lot of people agreed with you and maybe thought that, yeah, that's something that can be learned in childhood. I mean, definitely could. Anything, or really anything could happen. I did also see someone in the chat say that it's as a result of thinking that the world owes her something, which I definitely tend to agree with. I think that Amberlynn thinks the world owes her something.
Ridicule you or generally make you feel bad for the things you enjoy, like drawing, video games, or watching certain shows? If so, do you think she did that to make herself feel better, or as a way of exerting control over you?
I'm so happy that I can help empower others to speak up on similar experiences. I also really like to hear that it's helpful in recognizing this kind of behavior in others' lives. I appreciate everyone who tells their stories and who just supports or watches in general. Thank you, Zalaris4144. So, she did make mean remarks about the way I dressed and the way I decorated. Otherwise, she didn't actively put down my interest, often outside of random comments here and there. I think that's because she just showed no interest in anything I liked, was doing, or enjoyed. We were always doing separate things in the same room together.
Amber's probably watching.
Yeah, I mean, they really didn't have anything in common. Amberlynn and Beck had no chemistry. I mean, completely different interests, completely different personalities, completely different goals in life, completely different philosophies on life. I mean, just two total strangers. But I mean, chemistry isn't what is important to Amberlynn. Will you wipe my ass? I don't care that you want to go play Nintendo 64. I don't care that you want to draw all day. I don't care that you want to, do all that. Will you wipe my ass? That's what matters. Chemistry doesn't matter. No.
Yes. Douche. Was Amber ever truly concerned about her health, like hygiene, mobility, etc., or was it all just an act? Wishing the best for you, Beck.
Amber did say that she was concerned for her mobility and that she wanted to be more mobile, but never did anything about it while with me. I think that was because her online presence was more important than improving her quality of life, just like with her health. She wasn't concerned about how that lack of mobility affected me either, and how much work and effort I had to put in to help her due to those things deteriorating.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, I can be bedbound. I'll have Beck around to take care of me. I don't need to walk. Beck can walk for me. Why move if someone can move for you? I mean, just completely disregarding any... I mean, think about that. Like, your own mobility becomes a burden on someone else. But Amberlynn didn't care that she was a burden on someone else. She had her slave. She was morphing Beck into who she wanted them to be. I can't walk. I can't wipe myself. Beck will do it. Beck will walk for me. Beck will go get my shit. Beck will bathe me. Beck will do... Beck. I mean, you don't understand how much of a burden that becomes on someone else. But again, this goes back to Amberlynn thinking that the world owes her something.
As for her hygiene, she really never brought up concern about it. She would douse herself in perfume sometimes to help any issues, but that's all. I won't go into detail.
I mean, you can spray a turd with Love Spell. It's still going to be a turd.
About smells
And you see how much perfume she still buys even to this day?
or anything too personal, but her hygiene did affect everyone around her, myself, and others' personal belongings, and she did not show concern for any of those things.
Whoa. Personal belongings? I want to hear that again.
I won't go into detail about smells or anything too personal, but her hygiene did affect everyone around her, myself, and others' personal belongings, and she did not show concern for any of those things.
Amberlynn's hygiene affected others' personal belongings. What does Beck mean by that?
What do you think it will take for Amber to change? Ignore that question.
Oh. Free bleeding on a mattress. Yeah, didn't they have to burn the mattress? I mean, yeah, mattresses are expensive. I mean, if Amberlynn is like, going full out Dracula on this thing and you have to burn the mattress, it's like, well, then you're out of a mattress. The couch stank. Furniture is expensive. I mean, if you have to replace it because someone leaked on it or, did shit to it. Skid marks. Yeah. You guys think that comment was about furniture? I mean, honestly, you wonder why she got that red couch. I mean, why would Amberlynn want a red couch? Think about that.
Was Amber aware of feeder content, and do you know if she purposely made content for the feeder community? We love you, Beck. Now it's pretty clear she's making feeder content, but back then, did it ever come up?
Personally, I think being deplatformed would be the only way. I'm not saying I want that to happen, no matter how terrible she's treated me and the number of things she's taken.
That's interesting. So Amberlynn would really only do that if she absolutely had to. If backed into a corner and I wasn't able to make money on YouTube, I wasn't able to make money on TikTok, I wasn't able to make money through the means of me just vlogging my life, and I had to do that, if it comes down to either, okay, you need to get a traditional job that you show up to and do every day for 8 hours, or eat a hot dog on OF for Life with Ron. I mean, yeah, she would get desperate.
For me, I would never wish the loss of a job, stability, or housing on anyone. I know how devastating that is for anyone. YouTube is how she makes a living. It's how she supports herself, and she uses losing her channel and views as an excuse not to change. The only way she would ever change is if it were her only option, so I don't see that ever happening. To answer the second question, Amber never admitted to me that she catered to feeders when deciding on her content or thumbnails. She did tell me that she would do mukbangs because they got views, and would use thumbnails showing herself eating for the same reason. Knowing how often she read through her comments and looked at anything online related to her, I can't...
Yeah, and I mean, that's something that Amberlynn used in season 5. If I wanted more views, because, I mean, you saw the drop off in season 5 in terms of viewership and interest in the Amberverse. It was really noticeable in season 5. And she said, guys, I don't care if I'm losing views. If I want to make up my views, I can. I'll just go back to doing mukbangs. I don't think that she has that golden ticket up her sleeve anymore. I don't. Oh, well, I'll just do mukbangs. Are those even popular anymore? I mean, who cares? I don't think that Amberlynn putting up a thumbnail of her shoving food in her mouth would get more views than what she's currently putting up.
Can't imagine that she wasn't aware of what she was doing. It definitely felt like feeder content, but whether she made anything outside of YouTube for that purpose or talked to anyone about feederism specifically, she never mentioned.
Does Beck know anything about Amber's falling out with Crystal? Actually, that is a good question. Yeah, tried being mates like she does with all her exes, and then it stops.
From what I witnessed, Amber very frequently reached out to Crystal. When Crystal got into a relationship with Nina, Amber was not a fan of having to share Crystal's time and attention with someone else, even though she was the one to introduce them to each other. Amber talked bad about Nina a lot to Crystal in an attempt to split them up. When I told her to leave them alone, Amber made it seem like she was just parroting things I'd told her about my own experience with Nina, and doing it to defend Crystal and to defend me and what happened in my relationship with Nina. I didn't want those things to come between them. What happened with Nina and I was unrelated, and I won't talk more about that.
Maybe Amberlynn was, in her mind, using Crystal as a safety net. Well, if Beck ever finds the confidence to leave me, if, Beck were to pass away, if for some reason Beck and I were no longer together, she wanted her safety net. I can manipulate Crystal. Because remember, Amberlynn kind of left... I mean, she could have stayed in that house longer. But, I mean, she moved out and continued to live with Destiny. I mean, Crystal got rid of her and everything, but, I mean, she still could have lived there. I mean, those parents seem to be very sympathetic toward Amberlynn. They seem to be very gracious to her. I don't know why. But she could have made that last longer. So maybe she was thinking to herself, well, if this never works out, then maybe I can go back to what I know. She did. She wanted to use Crystal as a safety net.
That experience because it doesn't compare to how Amber treated me at all. Eventually, Crystal got fed up and cut Amber off, understandably.
Hi, Beck. When you both lived...
Oh, good. So Crystal and Amberlynn are no longer on speaking terms. Good. People aren't safety nets. You don't use people as safety nets. That's... Ugh. Like they're inanimate objects or something. Bells, thank you. I'm gonna replay gang. I have my first 5 a.m. shift tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to it. Also, I'm now Prozac gang. I've been Prozac gang for a while. I love Prozac. I don't know if I'll ever go off of it, honestly. I hope you have a good shift, Bells. Cinnamon Roll, hello. I'm ready to share about my wisdom teeth. They let me keep them. I keep them in a tiny jar on my shelf. Really? I wasn't even given the opportunity. I mean, maybe if you ask ahead of time, but who thinks to do that? I don't know. Well, I'm glad that you were able to keep your wisdom teeth as a little heirloom. Maybe make it into a necklace. Chevy, thank you. I'm so late, you guys. Fuck. Oh, well, that's okay, Chevy. Welcome. Thank you. Great Jojo, hello. My boyfriend said, tell Jordy I say hello. He's been overhearing your live since our first sleepover. He thinks that I'm getting my sass from you. Well, I don't know, girl. Maybe Amberlynn's not the only chameleon up in here. Oh, gosh. Thank you so much. And hello to Jojo's boyfriend. Hope you find the Amberverse interesting. Sala, thank you for that. Jordy's shirtless photos on Tinder. I think the closest you'll find of a photo of me being shirtless is in a tank top. So like something like this. I don't think you'll ever see like my nipples or anything like that on social media. I don't think I have any photos like that. I mean, you can see my legs. I don't know if that's scandalous. Maybe. I don't know. Megapop Pie, thank you for 8 months on Twitch. Hello, Megapop Pie.
Together, did she ever sit outside? How come she never goes outside, even to just sit out there? Did you get bored with being inside with her a lot of the time? I remember watching a clip from that era in one video, well, only one video, where Anne was like, oh, it's nice to just sit outside. I think that was her at her heaviest. So yeah, did she ever go outside? Did you get sick of being inside all the time?
She would sometimes sit outside on the front steps, but not often at all. She usually just stayed in the bedroom and on the bed. I did get really tired of those four walls, and it really contributed to my depression. I think the reason she didn't go out more often was likely due to mobility, but also just her being content with her laptop, phone, and everything else being taken care of for her.
Did you believe Amber's huge list of mental disorders she said she was diagnosed with before?
I mean, it's no wonder she has so many problems. I mean, you might as well have had her in a straitjacket. I mean, really, 4 walls? It was like she was in a voluntary prison.
She said she was diagnosed with ASMR. Before she started YouTube, she did a post saying, I've been diagnosed with ASMR. So she lies about that stuff. Did you believe everything?
No, I knew that everything she'd mentioned being diagnosed with were all self-diagnosed. There was never any confirmation that I knew of for anything she'd mentioned having aside from cancer.
What are your thoughts on Amber stealing Casey? Oh, okay, there you go, Casey. Stealing Casey's coming out story. Did Amber tell you anything similar while with you? Cheers, Beck. In case you don't know, Casey told YouTube their coming out story. Amber had the exact same, word for word, the exact same coming out story. So bizarre. How bizarre.
I know that I asked Amber about her coming out story, but I think she kept it vague. She said that she always knew she liked women and that her dad didn't take it well. I had to go back and watch the Ankles video on Amber's coming out story to see what story she told YouTube. I don't remember her telling me anything about a note or anything else in that video. But no, I'm really never surprised to hear about Amber lying about anything.
Oh gosh, I'm late and there are already so many questions, but here's mine. You made the cut, well done. You recently said that Amber used to be so mean to her mom that she would make her cry.
Oh, this is going to be a good one. Like we've seen recently with them in the parking lot. Hey, Mom, remember when you would take us camping and you would pass out? Hey, Mom, remember when you would take us camping and we would find you and Dad strung out in a tent and we wouldn't know what we would do for dinner? Do you remember that? Do you remember how much of a piece of a shit you were? Remember? I want the answer to this.
Amber ever make you cry in front of her? And what was Amber's response to seeing you and or her mother crying?
Amber made me cry many, many times in front of her. For someone who claims to be an empath, she really seemed to enjoy making people angry or pushing someone to their emotional limit based on how often she would do that to me and anyone else around her. Amber's reaction was always to not acknowledge that the emotional response was due to her actions. We were always made to feel like we were exaggerating or that whatever was done to us wasn't a big deal. We just shouldn't be upset with her. She would say that she didn't understand why we were upset. She could never understand why her actions and the things she said could.
Yet we're supposed to understand her. Amberlynn has no empathy, no regard, no consideration for anyone else, but for her, we should be understanding, empathetic, and have regard for her. Yeah. This really is. This is just like textbook narcissism, in my opinion.
hurt or upset others. I do think she understood, but she just did not care at all. If someone upset Amber, though, it was everyone's problem, and there was no such thing as an overreaction.
How much time in a day would you get to spend by yourself? Like, how often did she expect you to hang in the same room as her? Versus how often you could have some alone time in another room? Did she control most of your schedule?
I would spend all my time in the same room with her outside of bathroom breaks, and any time I would leave to get food or see my family. There were a lot of times where she would keep me from seeing them all together, but a lot of those times I would go anyway and just decided to deal with the consequences when I got home, whether I was leaving with or without.
Oh my god, the consequences. Oh god. I hate that Beck is even phrasing it that way. Well, Amberlynn would tell me I couldn't go hang out with my family. Amberlynn would tell me I couldn't go visit, but sometimes I just really wanted to, so I would, and then I would understand that I would have to deal with the consequences later. The consequences. 4 hours of lint picking. Two days straight of choosy. I mean, this is. I keep throwing around the word slave, and honestly, this is what it reads to for me. It is. Amberlynn wanted a slave.
Without her permission, there would be a time limit, and while I was gone, I would receive text messages to guilt me, saying things like, "I wish I wasn't home by myself." During the bad times, where I was heavily medicated and depressed, she did spend a lot of time in the dining room where she would do puzzles while I slept. She did control the schedule, though I would sleep when I wanted to, except for all the times she would wake me up in the middle of the night to take care of something for her. When she wanted to fix the sleeping schedule, she would have us stay awake for 24 hours, then crash at 9 p.m. the next day. Then she would stay up late again the next night, or a few nights later anyway, making that entire day of exhaustion for nothing.
Whenever Amber would say she didn't like
Controlling someone else's sleep schedule. All right, I want us to go to bed at 9 p.m. So, in order to reset our sleep schedule, let's just stay up all day until 9 p.m. and then we'll go to bed and then we'll wake up in the morning the next day. And then the next day would come and she would stay up late again and it would just defeat the purpose. I mean, to the point where Amberlynn was trying to control when people could sleep. Oh, God. Must be Carl. Thank you for those bits. I'm side-eyeing Eric and Ricky. You're not the only one. Electric Hippo, thank you. It must be tax season. I'm working 14 hours a day, but I finally got to support my main entertainment live. Keep reading these girls to filth, Jordy. Thank you, Electric Hippo. Oh, God, I can imagine it's a busy time. Yep, the next 2 months you're going to be swamped. Thank you, Electric Hippo. Dayro, hello. We remember Amberlynn and her mob wife fur jacket. She's always been an Al Calzone. Oh, the broken drawer. Oh my gosh, Al Calzone. I saw somebody in the chat say earlier, the blob father. I really like that. Whoever said that, the blob father. Amberlynn, she would be a good mobster. I mean, what do they do? Like, just treat people like shit and eat spaghetti all the time? Kind of seems up her alley. I don't know. Maybe she has a safety net all along. Maybe she's had a safety net all along. Beverly and Peach, thank you. Remember when Amber had 3 of those naked women torso candles? One was her body type, one was jade, and then there was a mystery third one. Poly candles. Oh, that actually might be worth taking a look at. It'd be interesting. There's so much. I mean, not just the poly stuff, and like a potential like guy being in their relationship and stuff and everything. But I mean, there's so much we don't know about season 5. So much we don't know. I mean, the only it was Erica. Erica, remember when I did the interview with Erica? Erica telling us that like Amberlynn like pulling a knife on them falling to the ground, Amberlynn not being able to get up and shit like that. I mean, so many things we don't know. I mean, I feel like we've just scratched the surface of season 5. It'd be amazing if Jade would come out and talk more about it, but I don't think she will.
Like a meal or was done eating and showed a plate of food with some food left, would she eat it when the camera was off? She does that now.
I don't remember her ever throwing anything half-eaten away. If we were at a restaurant, she always finished her meal. If she said that she didn't like something, she'd usually eat it anyway, then order something else later.
Right, here we go. In the initial days post-breakup, did Amber try and make you get back
Yeah. Not a leftover girly pop.
together? Didn't think about that one. Or did she ever manipulate you to try and make you feel like you should get back together? Also, when you announced the breakup on stream, did she ever guilt you about it off screen? Or put it off for long periods of time?
The breakup live stream happened just a day or so after the breakup. I think she spent about 24 hours guilting me offline and trying to change my mind, then couldn't wait to go live and publicly make me feel guilty for my decision once it became clear to her that the guilt trip wasn't working. Even while Amber was dating Jade, she was still saying things to me like, "You should feel like crap for dumping me like that," or "I can't believe you dumped me like you did."
You are.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that there's footage of Amberlynn saying things like that. You should feel like utter shit for breaking my heart. I just don't know why you would propose to someone and then break up with them all in the same year. Yeah, there's many examples of Amberlynn guilt-tripping Beck on camera.
Not terrible. I mean, trying to get out of an abusive relationship. What were you thinking, Beck? What were you thinking? Taking accountability. Was your family sad about the breakup like Amber claimed, or were they relieved? Well, I'm assuming after the intervention, they were relieved.
My family was so happy. They were only upset that it didn't happen sooner. So yeah, I think they really all felt relieved afterwards.
Hi, Beck. Amber had so many rules and boundaries for what you could and couldn't do. Did you ever put your foot down on any occasion and tell her, "No, I'm not doing that again"?
I did put my foot down sometimes when it came to seeing my family. That was the most important thing to me, and I deal with the repercussions afterward. There were many times outside of that where I said no, but saying no would always start an argument, no matter what it was that she was asking me to do. The arguments would become so overwhelming and manipulative that I'd almost always end up giving in to her demands.
Beck, what did a typical day with Amberlynn look like when you both moved to the apartment? What did...
You don't tell me no. No? You don't tell me no. Oh my god.
Amberlynn Reid normally wake up... Oh, sorry, what time did Amberlynn Reid normally wake up? And what was her routine? I'm assuming it was wake up, eat a bunch of crap, and then play Choosy all day.
Amber would almost always wake up in the afternoon between noon and 3. The minute she woke up, she was on her phone and usually looking at DoorDash, checking socials, YouTube, etc. The rest...
So most people, when they wake up, they check their email, they'll check any text messages or phone calls they may have missed when they were sleeping. Amberlynn, DoorDash. She'd fire up DoorDash. All right, what am I having delivered?
of the day always depended on what she was into at the moment, usually doing separate things while in the same room. We did play Choosy at the apartment, but Choosy was played the most often whenever we lived with Eric and Ricky. I've read a lot of comments talking about how Choosy may have been a way to isolate me and keep me busy doing something meaningless with her for long periods of time, and I think they were right. It didn't leave much time for me to walk away and talk to my friends.
The Choosy shit is unreal. The Choosy thing, I need to keep Beck busy. Because if Beck has time to themselves where they can just sit around and think and ponder about how shitty of a situation they're in, then they might consider leaving me. And I can't have that. Here, so I want you to take these 1,000 croc charms and I want you to play Choosy with them for the next 12 hours. And then I want you to go to bed. Oh my God, it just straight up just disgusting.
Beck, did you ever sleep in the guest bedroom? Why was that the only room you were allowed to decorate?
We slept in the guest bedroom every day. Amber didn't like the new mattress or bed frame that we'd bought for our decorated room. She bought it, then never spent a full night on it. As for decorating, Amber told me before we moved into the apartment that when we got our own place, she would be the one to decorate everything and that I wouldn't have a say in any of that. When I asked why not, she said, well, Destiny never cared that I decorated. I think the only reason I was allowed to decorate the guest room was because that's where all of my belongings went anyway. I know she didn't like my style, but she never asked for my opinion or found out what kind of decorations I would like anyway. I know everyone has seen what my bedroom looked like, but I do have a much different style for living rooms and public spaces in a home.
Beck, you've mentioned that each time you previously tried to leave, Amber would make promises to change and that things would get better. What exactly did she admit to needing to change? And what exactly did she promise would get better?
Oh, this is a good question. So when Amberlynn would plead with Beck, no, don't leave me. Things will get better. I'll change. I will change. Things will get better. I will change. You'll be happy. Yeah, what exactly did that look like? That's a good question.
That's such a good one. Did she make
Oh my God, he said the same thing.
any authentic attempt to change as promised? If so, how long did this renewed honeymoon period typically last before she reverted back to coercive, controlling, demeaning, it's too early for me to read those words in a row, and or otherwise abusive words and behaviours? Did she tend to escalate these behaviours to further wear you down and thus discourage you from another attempt at leaving? Your sharing as much detail as is comfortable may help many others recognize a similar pattern in their or narc abusive relationships.
He copied you clearly. Well, yeah, I mean, that goes without saying.
I'm getting a lot of messages saying that Beck's helping them. Yeah, what was she promising to change? It'll get better, I'll change. Change what exactly?
The promises to change would always depend on what my reason for wanting to leave was about at the time. There were a lot of times that Amber promised me she would get therapy in order to change her behavior. She never continued going after the first few appointments, so no progress was...
Because she doesn't want therapy. Because she doesn't think that she needs therapy. Because she thinks that there's nothing wrong. I'll get therapy. Yeah, I'll go to a session. All right, I went to one session. Back to the way things were.
Ever really made. She promised that she would do better on her diets, that she would help to clean more, that she would be less strict. Her attempts...
I won't be a bitch. I'll clean more. I won't make you wipe as much. I'll go to therapy. I'll change. Please don't leave me. Grovel.
To change were never really authentic. After each promise, she'd try for a few days, she'd be nicer and demand me do less for her, but then gradually go right back to her old ways. The less
Slipping back into old habits. Alright, Beck threatened to leave me. I guess I have to be nice to them for a day. Alright, I was nice to them for a day. Alright, listen here, bitch. I mean, honest to God. Big baby cream, thank you. Amberlynn used Beck's inheritance for DoorDash. Pretty much. I mean, we know that during this time, well, during season 5, but yeah, even before season 5, I'd imagine too, Amberlynn was spending upwards of $3,000 a month on DoorDash. That's $100 a day. Lex just uploaded a video. Did she? Oh gosh. Apparently, Lex has info on her new sneaky link. Oh, really? Alexis found Amberlynn's new boo. I don't know.
mobile she became, the more mean and controlling she would be. She became more confident in the way she treated me and in her belief that I would never leave. It continued to escalate until the end of the relationship. She also knew that the less independent she was, the more she needed me, the more bad I would feel for her, and the less likely I would be to leave.
Hi, Beck and Snowflake. That's Mr. Snowflake to you. Oh, you said Mr. Snowflake, right. Do you think Twinkie and Wasabi are being cared for properly by Amber since she has no one to help her. Well, Rarity just went missing under Amber's watch. The state of Twinkie, nails are back to being long. Amber's trying to prove she's looking after the pets. Oh, look at me brushing wasabi. Can you look at wasabi when you're doing it instead of eye banging the camera?
From my experience, she does not properly take care of her animals when living alone. I haven't seen Amber.
Yeah, I mean, how could she? She can't take care of herself. She definitely can't take care of animals. Amberlynn shouldn't have Twinkie or Wasabi.
Or Twinkie and Wasabi in years, so there's no way for me to know for sure if she truly takes them to see the vet regularly.
Yeah, I mean, someone that can't wipe their own ass and can't shower and as a substitute sprays perfume all over their body shouldn't be taking care of pets.
Grooms them or cleans the litter boxes enough. After hearing about Rarity, it does worry me. I can't say for sure.
I wonder if you could give us more insight into your family's intervention. When they started seeing red flags and when they started to warn you about the relationship.
My family saw red flags from the beginning. My mom, my sisters, and their then husbands all quickly had arguments with Amber. My family is not perfect, and some of them have very, very different opinions from mine, and not all of them support me, but my sisters and my mom did, and were nice to Amber. Amber would go out of her way to stir the pot and start arguments with them. My family pointed out that Amber was controlling, that I was seeing them so much less, and voiced their concerns about my well-being while caring for her to the extent that I did. The day of the intervention, my family asked to meet me at a park, and I had no idea why. This all happened during the bad times, so I don't remember everything that was said. My mom was the one who planned it. She talked to my sisters and said that she wanted to meet up with me away from the rest of the family and talk about her concerns. My mom and sisters all met me at the park and sat down with me. Mom felt like I was being held hostage by Amber and being kept from seeing the family. She saw the state my mental health was in because she had never seen it become so bad before. Because of that, she was really concerned for my safety and just wanted me to leave her in the situation I was in.
Crazy. Can you tell when when Amber is fake crying? I can. If so, what is her biggest tell? Love to see you thriving in a...
Rude to your family is a giant red flag. Well, she knows that the family has Beck's interest in mind, and Amberlynn is certainly not Beck's best interest. So they are an enemy in Amberlynn's eyes. They're a threat. They are a direct threat to Amberlynn getting her ass wiped. So, of course she's not going to play nice with them. Lauren Burkhart, thank you. Amberlynn has always seemed transphobic. I wouldn't take her seriously either way. I'm surprised she doesn't get called out for never commenting on LGBT rights in Jeopardy. Oh, thank you for sharing, Lauren. Appreciate that. Trey Bien, hi. Been a replay girly for months. Glad to finally kiki with the king. Mr. Snowflake's bedroom voice makes me sleepy. Scrotum heart hands to all. Scrotum heart hands. We have CHF heart hands. Now we have this. Thank you, Trey Bien. I appreciate that. Bo Echo Squalor, thank you for your 1-year anniversary subscription. Holy cow. It's amazing watching this unfold, having been watching the Amberlynn verse since Beck's season. Back in your no camera days. Love you, Jordy. Oh my gosh, the no camera days. You know what would be funny is if we could go back and watch some of those videos and just be like, wow, oh, how things have changed. Thank you, Bo Echo Squalor.
A relationship with a beautiful woman. Your iceberg videos have been so fun. It'll be interesting when you, Beck, when you get all the Amber stuff out and then it's just passion project after passion project. Yeah. Anyway, can you tell when Amber is fake crying?
When Amber actually cries, there are real tears. She sobs, her shoulders shake, and her voice squeaks. I don't think I've ever seen her genuinely cry on camera. In her last response to Beck video, her eyes are dry, and she changed her voice a little to sound emotional, but you can tell it's not real. She did that a lot while filming, then would stop the video and turn around like nothing had happened. Also,
Yeah, I know. Shoulder shaking. That's an interesting symptom of crying. Oh, hey, at least she's getting some exercise.
Thank you. I can't wait to do more videos showing my interests in things I love.
What is Ayla really diagnosed with? Yeah. Anything? Or would she just come back and go, I got diagnosed with all this? Don't know why she's obsessed with being diagnosed with stuff.
While with me, the only thing she was ever diagnosed with besides cancer was bipolar disorder. Eric, Amber, and I all visited the same doctor who diagnosed all three of us with bipolar disorder and prescribed us all the same medication based on a questionnaire the doctor had given us. The doctor eventually took me off that medicine and said my diagnosis may have been incorrect due to my reaction to the medicine. Amber stopped taking it and seeing the doctor altogether. I continued seeing that doctor for years. I don't know about any other official diagnosis she's ever received, and there were no more given while with me.
Oh yeah, because she's nuts. Was there ever a moment to where you were in so much fear from Amberlynn that you wanted to call for help via police, family, etc.? That's a sad one. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I ever felt the need to call the police. I didn't feel physically threatened by Amber, but I did sometimes feel like calling for my family, either wanting to just talk to them or needing to run to them to be by their side for emotional support.
But Beck also said that Amberlynn's mobility issues played into that. So, had Amberlynn been able to move her arms in a swinging or striking motion, she may have.
Did ALR put times on more things than what you've already told us? How many other things did she do that with?
She would put timers on cleaning, but I kind of found that helpful sometimes. She'd sit in one spot and clean the areas that she could reach from her seat while I cleaned everywhere else. If I watched a movie in the...
No. Cleaning while sitting down. She would clean from where she was sitting. That's like QB. Who remembers QB? That like sitting down and exercising thing she had? She could like work out on the couch.
The living room with friends or did anything outside of the room she was in, and she didn't plan on joining. She'd always ask how long the movie was or what I'd be doing and for how long. I don't know if she'd set a timer in those instances, but I would get a text right around the time I estimated asking if I was done and when I'd be coming back. She'd set a timer for lint picking, back brushing, and massages, and any activities we did together. She'd set a 10-minute timer while we watched a movie. When that timer would go off, she'd spend 15 minutes on her computer. Then she'd either go back to the movie for 10 more minutes or pick another activity and go back to the movie after. Sometimes it was reading, journaling, or choosing. If I was in the bathroom, there would be no timer, but she would text, call, or yell to tell me I'm taking too long.
Beck, do you know anything of the random...
Yell to let Beck know that they were taking too long. Beck, time's up. I'd imagine this is how it went down. I would imagine that this is how it went down.
Time's up, SpongeBob.
Time's up, Becky. You know, I love a SpongeBob reference.
Time's up, SpongeBob.
Oh, God.
Petals. Oh, we just talked about that. Pain and metals. So, the Rain and Petals eavesdrop story, or the accusations of essay Amber has made towards people. Did she ever come clean, confide, or discredit her own stories? I don't know how much you've seen. You probably haven't seen all of that stuff, actually. The essay stuff, claiming that she's been essayed by so many people. So many different people. And the story's changed. And the reason why she's told the stories has changed. I'll send you all the clips if you want more clarification. But so many examples of it just flat out lying about being essayed.
The Rain and Petals eavesdrop is so ridiculous. The only instance that she told me about was with Casey. She never admitted to me that what she said was a lie, and never mentioned any of the other instances that I'd heard mentioned in your Mr. Snowflake's videos. She would bring up throughout the relationship that she didn't understand why viewers invalidated her experience, and she would tell stories about things Casey had supposedly done to her. I believe now that Casey is another victim of Amber, and I understand why there's so much.
I think that when Amberlynn brought those accusations to YouTube and talked about those things, she probably thought that it was her Willy Wonka golden ticket, because SA is a very, very touchy subject. And in terms of victims and them getting to tell their story and them being believed and things like that, people tend to be very sympathetic and tend to lend them an ear. And, you know, it's nice to believe the people that are speaking out about those things because of, you know, the courage to come forward and talk about those things. So I wouldn't be surprised if Amberlynn thought, well, if I talk about something as serious as this, no one will question me. If I bring this accusation to the table, no one's going to call me a liar, because then they'll look ridiculous. They'll look like an asshole for saying that I'm lying about this.
Much doubt about everything Amber says.
What shows did Amberlynn say she was going to be on? Oh yeah, I was always talking about some shows contacted her, this show's contacted her. What shows did Amberlynn say she was going to be on?
There was a show called Too Large that contacted her and wanted her to be on the show, but they wanted her to move to Atlanta and to follow a strict diet. She told me that she rejected the show because she didn't want to move and was afraid that she...
I don't know if it so much had to do with Atlanta, but more had to do with the diet.
Wouldn't be able to post YouTube videos while on the show. I also vaguely remember her getting an email about being on My 600 Pound Life, but that could have been totally fake. We weren't sure.
Was Amber secretive with her phone during your relationship? Infamously cheated on Emily with Erica, and was still talking to Abby while with Emily.
When we first started dating, she mentioned that she received a lot of nudes from people on Snapchat. I told her that it made me kind of uncomfortable, and she told me that she changed the settings or something so that it wouldn't keep happening. But I never looked to see if that were true. Amber was really secretive with her phone. She would take mine and go through it all the time, but told me that she didn't want me looking through her phone because she had private journals and insisted she needed.
Yeah, I get to go through all of your shit, but my phone? Oh, no. I have private journal entries on here. I have my diary and my notes app. I can't have you looking at this. This is private. This is for my eyes only. Your phone, though? Should we do another SpongeBob reference? So this is Amberlynn looking through Beck's phone. Beck not allowed to look at Amberlynn's phone. No. But Amberlynn to Beck's phone.
I gotta see it. I gotta look at it, see it, and glom onto it.
Needed her privacy.
Right. So that's the audience's one. There's loads. There's more. I could do an endless series on this, but there's enough for another part. But I've done a few as well, because there's a few I want to know, and with the victims that will tie up a few things. Anyway, what's this one? Reaction channels. Which reaction channels did she hate the most? I wasn't around then, so sadly it won't be me.
Yeah, I wasn't around then. I wasn't around then back either. Around then either. I mean, who were like the front runner? Well, I don't want to say front runners. Who were the big people back then? I mean, Alex, Zach, Karina. I mean, those are the three that come to mind for me.
It's the ankle now. How often did she talk about them? Did it annoy you? How
I remember, yeah, she used to lose her shit about Karina.
Obsessed she was with them. Did she?
And that's how I found Karina, because Amberlynn would always bitch about her. Young dumb honey bun. Oh yeah, young dumb honey bun was back then. Life of a Free Spirit.
She ever cry over reaction channels? She's admitted to crying over Ask If M posts and Instagrams. Was she genuinely obsessed? Would she talk about them all the time? Would she cry over Geordie? I hope it's a yes.
Karina Kaboom, Willow Davis, CXNT, Charlie Gold, Kicking Geese, and Apathetic Facts. She talked about the channels daily and watched every video that came out about her. She loved to...
She talked about them daily and watched every video that came out about her. Oh my god. Yeah. She really put Apathetic Facts through the ringer. If y'all don't know this, I mean, Amberlynn got Apathetic Facts demonetized. And Apathetic Facts didn't upload for like a while. But then they fought for their channel back and they got it back and everything.
to say that none of...
It was crazy. I remember during season, like the very beginning of season 5, Amberlynn would upload, Apathetic Facts would make like a shortened version of Amberlynn's video and have it up within like an hour. And then Apathetic Facts would get like double the views.
them would have a channel or be making any money without her. She'd proudly tell me about her flagging videos of theirs. It was annoying to me that she was so obsessed because it was such an unhealthy obsession. She would sometimes cry about the things the channels would say, calling them bullies, and saying it was due to fat shaming.
This one comments, how long would you be checking comments on her videos, and did that ever annoy you? How often she would talk about them? Look what this person said, look what it... How long would she be checking? Would she just check? Because every now and again she'll go, I'm not reading comments, but she is.
She would spend an hour at a time scrolling through her YouTube comments on and off daily. She would also cry about her YouTube comments and talk about how detrimental it was to her mental health, but would go out of...
Yeah, but why are you looking at it then? I mean, if people are making drama-related videos about you, the worst thing that you could probably do is watch them. I mean, she would click on them as soon as they would get uploaded. I mean, what do you think? What good do you think there's going to come from that? Amy, thank you. Amber didn't care. Amber didn't cave to community pressure. Her newfound respect for Beck's name and pronoun is manipulation. Amber wants silence and compliance, which she doesn't have the authority to demand anymore. Thank you, Amy. Velocitoddler, hello. Happy you're here tonight, mainly listening this evening so I can scrub floors when the toddler is toddling at grandma's for once. Oh my gosh. The terrible twos. Thank you, Velocitoddler. You're sick. Thank you for your 2-month subscription. Obviously, Amber was mad because she sees herself in Lumpy Space Princess. One of my favorite characters. No, don't ruin that with Amber. Anna Lee, hello. Not an iPad kid, just doing homework while I watch. All right, well, you get a pass this time. Thank you, Annalie. Barry, hello. Amber's getting flamed in her community tab, announcing her live stream. This is karma. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, Amber. Did she ever go live? I saw somebody say earlier that maybe she meant to go live at 9 p.m. Central Time and not Eastern, because I'm Eastern. So I was just assuming 9 p.m. Eastern, but maybe she meant Oklahoma time. So would that be like 10 or 11 p.m. her time? I don't know. I don't know if she has gone live yet. Amazing Grace, not quite. Thank you. Here I am again at 2 a.m. Cat on my head. So watching you, Jordy, with Leopold. Thank you so much. Hello, Leopold. I love that name. Thank you, Grace. NJ, hi. One of the CNAs described the staff I indoctrinated as a girl world epidemic. Let's mask. Kiyun said people can just say his name as Ki. Oh, is it Kiyun? Okay, all right, Ki. Yeah, that's a lot easier for me. Thank you. Thank you for being simple, Ki. 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. So she should go live like right now, right? Because it's 10 p.m. Eastern. Graveyard, thank you for 3 months. Amber makes me want to waterboard myself. Don't forget to like the stream. Oh my, very intense super chat. Thank you.
Way to read them along with posts on Reddit, Kiwi Farms, and Facebook.
Hygiene. All right. Hygiene. Well, yeah, I think you've been respectful about Amber's lack of hygiene. However, I mean, I wouldn't be. Especially not after her accountability video. I'm sorry you thought you were abused. Yeah, man. However, I think it's a valid thing to discuss because it must have affected you. It must have had a negative effect on you. Being around somebody who refuses to clean properly. That would have done my mentals in. That wouldn't have been good for me. Was it something you tried to talk to Amber about? And would she get defensive if you did bring it up, or did you not bring it up but wanted to? Did she get defensive if you or anybody brought it up? I mean, you don't have to say how much she stunk or stank. But would she ever get defensive if you brought it up? The lack of hygiene, and it is.
The Lex video was kind of spicy. We'll probably do that tomorrow. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it tonight and see what it's all about ahead of time.
Part of the abuse. That is awful to have to put up with that. So I know Amber, even though you didn't even mention the hygiene stuff before, Amber wasn't happy that you were talking about the hygiene stuff, even though you didn't.
I would talk to Amber about her hygiene. I tried to convince her to cut her hair to make maintenance easier on both of us, and she refused. I told her to stop wearing the chokers when the dark spots.
Yeah, really. Please cut your hair. I am so tired of having to be responsible for the upkeep of this rat's nest. Please cut your hair. No! No! You'll brush it and you'll be happy to brush it. Got it? Ugh. Gag. Veronica Lynn, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Welcome to all of our new members. Courtesy of Veronica Lynn. Thank you, Veronica. That was really generous of you. Prison Becky. We also have Prison Becky coming in for 11 months. Have you ever been afraid when you sit on the toilet that you'll slip and fall on the handle of a plunger? I wish people wouldn't leave them in there. I can't say I've ever had that fear. I'm sorry to what you're going through, Prison Becky. You'll see your way through it, I'm sure. She Who Shits Herself. Thank you for your super chat. Quite a username. Shout out to Beck's art in this video. Interesting watching their drawing process and glad they're doing their thing. Yeah, I mean, hey. I mean, otherwise it would just be a black screen and Beck talking, right? So, nice to have something to look at, I guess.
Appeared behind her neck, and she told me it wasn't a big deal and that it was fine. I'm not going to go into detail about the smell, but it was brought up to me a lot by everyone around me, and I did have to talk to her about it. Her reaction was usually to blame her depression and how she struggled to clean by herself. Eventually, I stopped asking her to help herself because it wasn't going to happen. It did get a little better when we moved into the apartment with the large walk-in shower, but I did still stand in the bathroom and help until the day we broke up.
I see a lot of abuse when it comes to you and Amber. People often mention financial abuse, which is not something I...
Honey, your hygiene's becoming a problem. Honey, your smell is giving everyone a migraine. Amber, do you think that you could make a little bit more of an effort? No! And if you have a problem with the way I smell, you can just go fly a kite. Oh my gosh. That's embarrassing. Like, wouldn't you be embarrassed? Wouldn't you be, like, just humiliated? I mean, I would be humiliated. Lady Razzie, thank you. Off topic, but people are speculating Amber's still with Emily. I kind of think her attitude changed because she's talking to that Brandon guy from her live stream. I'm probably wrong, though. I don't know. Apparently, there's been new information dropped about Amberlynn's sneaky link. Whatever that means. But what I will tell you is if she is still with Emily and that continues to be a thing for a while, we'll find out eventually. We always do. BLSX, thank you for 7 months on Twitch. Thank you for providing laughs. I look forward to you every night after work. Rock Heart Band CU. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you finding my streams entertaining.
I immediately think of when I think of abuse, but it's still a form of abuse. I always think of physical or emotional, but then I see people talking about financial. I'm like, oh yeah, of course, that's one as well. That's a big one as well. Can you think of any big examples of Amber abusing you financially?
Amber constantly held over my head that she was the only one with an income. During almost every argument, she would tell me how she pays all the bills and buys all the food, as if that gave her a right to control me, and as if I contributed.
Yeah, as if that was the green light that she needed to set timers and make Beck fake pick lint. I mean, I don't care what you're providing for someone. You don't get to treat them the way that you treated Beck.
Nothing to her life. I would tell her each time that if she felt that way, I'd gladly go back to working. She'd quickly say, no, I don't want you to do that. And she didn't. She couldn't handle being apart from me for any extended period of time. She needed a caretaker, and that was already my full-time job, and a thankless one. Despite that, and doing what I could to contribute by also being in the vlogs, when she knew full well that I didn't want to be, in order to earn the home I was living in her mind, she would also be sure to take away any money I'd get from other sources. I mentioned this before, but even being seen collecting change would trigger her to question whether I was saving up to leave her. When my mother passed,
I don't want you to have any safety net. I don't want you to have the ability to provide for yourself. If you want to go get an apartment, you're doing so by leaving with nothing to your name. If you want to leave, you're going to be living on the sidewalk. Just the worst.
passed away, me and my siblings received a portion of a settlement from my dad's job that ended up being around $5,000 to $6,000 for each of us. I was not allowed to keep it. She told me that the money had to go into paying the bills and my half of the rent. My mom had plans for when she would have received that money before she passed away. Getting it was bittersweet, and I would have liked to use it in some way to honor her. She wouldn't have wanted Amber.
Oh my god. I know. Oh my god, that's terrible. I mean, the money that you were able to leave behind for your child to do something with themselves. For your child to, it just went into the hands of the devil. I mean, Beck's mom, if she was ever to be able to be aware of where that money went, I mean, just the feelings of just absolute despair to know that went into Amberlynn's hands. Oh, you got $5,000 from your mom passing away? Well, you haven't worked in a very long time, so this is a perfect opportunity for you to pay this month's rent and next month's rent and half of my DoorDash this month. Becky, I've been paying the bills for the past 3 years. If it wasn't for me, we'd be on the sidewalk. You got $5,000? That's mine. That's mine. It's my money. It's my money. I've been paying for everything else. You need to help out a little bit. You need to contribute. Oh, God. Add it to the Beck pay. Write Beck a check for $40,000. I don't think that there's a path of redemption for this spawn of Satan. I really don't. But that would be a great start. Larry Pie, thank you. I once said exactly teardrop at work, and my coworker private messaged me to say that they watch Foodie all the time. I was mind blown. Oh my gosh. Hiding in plain sight. That is so funny. Thank you for sharing. Oh my god. Exactly, teardrop. Quart of milk, thank you. I really think Amberlynn can only be with a feeder. They get off on her weight and struggling, like wiping, and she gets off to people serving and humiliating them. Yeah, I mean, she may have found what she deserves in Emily. I don't know. Soft and gentle love. But yeah, that is a thing that people enjoy watching. Like, there's people that like are into that kind of stuff. I remember there was a video I did on Eugenia where Eugenia went to the beach with her mom, and she had this chair, and she was like trying to take it out of its little case or its cover or whatever, and she was trying to like unfold the chair so that she could put it in the sand and sit on it, and it took her, no exaggeration, like 4 minutes. Like, I was like, why is she struggling this much to take a chair out of a little like carrier case and put it up on the beach, and then people in the comments let me know, like, oh, people want to see that. People are into that. People want to see, people like this. Like they have like a struggle fetish. So I mean, just like, I guess like Amberlynn looking like a blob person, just completely being incapable of doing anything for herself. Like, that's sexy to some people. I don't know. I don't even want to put my mind in that scenario of why anyone would find that hot. Tumultuous doormat, thank you. 90-day fiancé. You mean entry? 90-day fiancé. Deborah, thank you. I saw an air of sadness in Beck. I always have. How Amber's total dismissive treatment of them did not completely break them speaks volumes about Beck's resilient mind. Yeah. I mean, and you know what? It's taken Beck some time to bounce back from all of this, but I am glad to see the place that they're in now. Alejandra Martinez, thank you. I hope you're well rested and good all over. Thanks for being here with us as always. Oh, thank you for the very sweet super chat, Alejandra. I appreciate that. I am doing well. I feel good. Prison Becky, hi. It's not mushed cherries on that couch.
Ugh. To have it, and it really hurt, but she took it anyway. When I told her that I would like to do something with the money, she dismissed it and treated me like I owed it to her and it wasn't my choice. She said that I couldn't have it because the bills needed to be paid, even though I knew that she was making enough from YouTube to cover bills and rent with no problem.
Yeah?
Yeah, guys. And when I say things like Amberlynn making a 5-figure income every month, I mean, even now, I'm being serious about that. Those websites like Social Blade and those other ones that like estimate how much people make a month, I have always found them to be grossly inaccurate. Very inaccurate. Amberlynn does a very good job for herself on YouTube, and she has for many years now. She's able to support herself. She's able to pay for a bed comfortably. She's able to afford the DoorDash comfortably. She's able to afford the apartment comfortably. She's able to afford, any out-of-pocket expenses. She does very well for herself. So yes, definitely she would have been able to take care of everything that was going on during the relationship that she had with Beck. She did not need that extra $5,000. That was strictly to keep Beck isolated financially. Kelly, darling, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. That was really sweet of you to do. I see Emotional Support Slushy is now a member. Hello, Emotional Support Slushy. Thank you so much for expanding my community. I appreciate that, Kelly. Straw Baby, thank you for your memberships. I got gifted this membership, and I just wanted to say I love you. And here you say Amberlynn is a monster out loud. Oh, God. Real monsters. Featuring Amberlynn. Maybe Amberlynn could be that character from Real Monsters that held its eye. You know what character I'm talking about. Suf, thank you. Beck must have felt so demeaned having to apologize for her bariatric girlfriend's green cloud around her. Oh my gosh. I mean, Pigpen from Charlie Brown? No different. I don't know. Maybe Amberlynn drew inspiration from Pigpen. I want to be like him when I grow up.
Thanks for doing this, Beck. Not a super long one. Actually, I don't think it was. Oh, no, it wasn't. Like I said, there's another part there if you want to do it, but there's no rush because this must be a bit draining. But I'm hoping it's good for you. Like I've said before, it was good for Casey. I was really sad about the Casey interview, but he said no, it was good. It's good to get.
I think this would be therapeutic. I mean, how many people get the opportunity to really stick it to their abuser? How many people get the opportunity to monetize clapping back at the people that did them wrong for as long as they did? Not a lot of people. In a lot of regards, you just have to let go of that anger. You need to move on. I mean, Beck has the perfect opportunity to just, absolutely bury Amberlynn. And that's exactly what they're doing. This seems therapeutic. Or at least I would think it would be. I mean, Beck is continuing to make these videos. So I think that Beck is feeling good in some regard. I like to see it. Curbs Cuts, thank you. My wife just informed me she's concerned I'm watching streams of that weird fat lady every night. What should I tell her? Tell her to join you. Tell her to get involved. You guys will have it as like a, you know, something that you can make fun for your marriage together. Thank you, Curbs. Dylan, hey Dylan. Non-bi, love-scorned, lying, purple bleeder feeder. Oh my, what a super chat. Non-bi, love-scorned, lying, purple bleeder feeder. Jeez. I wouldn't want to catch you in the dark alley of a playground. Ears of Corn, thank you. Please react to Salty Crab's favorite moments, number 11. Well, maybe not tonight, but thank you for the suggestion. Thank you, Ears of Corn. KRH, hi. Just got done dyeing my hair. Gonna listen while I get dinner and head home to crochet. Hope everyone's well. Oh my gosh. That is awesome. I hope it comes out the way you anticipated. Thank you, KRH. Enjoy your dinner. Jamie, thank you. I respect Beck doesn't go into detail on the smell. I know that smell, and it's sickening. I can't imagine having to endure that for more than a couple seconds. I'm so glad they're free now. I mean, it really just like a mobile septic tank, I guess. Oh, God. There is part of a highway that I drive past sometimes when I get on the interstate, and it's by a sewage plant. And you can, I mean, it's like, the interstate's like kind of far from it, but I mean, you know, gosh be damned if you don't drive past that and still get blasted with it. I mean, oof. Yeah. Kim D, thank you. You should reach out to Rafe and get their take on things. I don't know. Does Rafe still I mean, I know that Rafe has... I've heard that Rafe has transitioned. I don't know if Rafe even goes by Rafe anymore. I don't know if Rafe has social media. I don't know anything about them. Rafe has kind of disappeared, similarly to like Dana. Dana has really disappeared from the Amberverse. I mean, some of these side characters have just kind of fizzled. But thank you for the suggestion, Kim. I appreciate that. Autumn Rose, thank you for your super sticker. Appreciate your super sticker, Autumn. Thank you. Site for psoriasis. Oh, that's funny. Psoriasis. Site for psoriasis. Thank you. Amber could have knocked her clean out by opening her legs. Would have... Oh my... I have another SpongeBob reference, but I'm not going to bring it up. It would have been catastrophic for the surrounding area as Chernobyl was. So you think there's radiation? Not only is it just an odor, it's radiation. Jeez. Site for psoriasis. I like your username, thank you. Interesting super chat. Cyrita, thank you for 2 months. I just got a 4-month-old chihuahua named Lottie. When she's sassy or wolfs down her food, I call her Lottie Lynn. Oh, that's too cute. Lottie Lynn. Oh my gosh. Enjoy your new puppy, hun. Thank you for 2 months. Who was that? Oh my gosh. 20 gifted memberships from Luz. Thank you so much, Luz. That's the first time I've ever seen your username pop up. Thank you for your generosity. Welcome to all of our new members, courtesy of Miss Luz. Hey, thank you. If you have a dedicated emoji that you would like spammed in the chat, please let us know. Thank you, Luz. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Welcome to all of our new members. There you go, Turbid Tomato. You got a gifted membership. Autumn Rose, thank you again. I forgot to leave a super chat. I'm currently in the middle of the live stream from the other day. I had to come by and stop by to say that Cleopatra made me spit out my drink. Cleopatra. Do you like that one? I thought it was low effort, but I'm glad that you liked it. Thank you, Autumn. Carissa, thank you. Hey, Jordan, if you do Alexis If you do Lexus's video, you have to get up to 14 minutes, 50 seconds. Amber had a situation type deal with a man. These texts and videos. Oh, gosh. We'll look at it tomorrow, guys. We will do it tomorrow. I encourage everybody to take a look at it. Apparently, tea was spilled in it, but we're going to take a look at it formally tomorrow on here. Oh, gosh. Amberlynn catching strays from quite literally every direction. Poffin, thank you. Okay, I think it's time for a rap battle. Who's battling? Thank you, Poffin. Kimchi dumpling roll, thank you for 3 months. Thanks for keeping me company while I'm stuck in the lab. Aw, I'm sorry to hear that, kimchi dumpling roll. Well, hopefully you'll be out of there soon. Hope you have a good rest of your week. Veronica Lynn, hey. Amber isn't going to go live now because she's watching your stream. Apparently she went live. So I don't know about all that. Thank you, Veronica. Pink Potato, thank you for 6 months. Wasn't feeling my best until I saw that you were live. Thank you for being my comfort space. Much love from a Polish shorty. Thank you so much, Pink Potato. Glad to hear that my streams bring you comfort. Hope to see you around again. Poffin, hey. Tuna in a can. Yes, chicken of the sea. Thank you, Poffin. Kiara, thank you. Jordy, I have bipolar and you helped me through depressive episodes through entertainment. Thank you. That really means a lot to me. Thank you for sharing that, Kiara. I'm glad to hear that my streams are able to provide you some mental relief. Throat Goat, thank you for the bits. Katie the Human, hello. Spending my last hours as a 25-year-old dunking on Amber with you guys. Wouldn't want it any other way. Love it. Love it. Enjoy your birthday. Well, I don't know. Hey, if you'll be here tomorrow, we'll wish you happy birthday, Katie. Kiaria, thank you for your membership. Hello, hello. Welcome. Really very annoying. Amber treats YouTube like Meet Me streams. I don't know what a Meet Me stream is, but maybe someone else will appreciate that reference. Riley Bug, hello. Your lives are my favorite to watch while I'm doing my university projects. My roommate recognizes your voice. Sending gentle love from the UK. Oh my gosh. Riley Bug's roommate, hello. I'm glad to make your acquaintance via background noise. Glad that I can be a part of your university experience. Good luck to you, Riley Bug. Rice Noodles, hi. I'm happy you're far away from that selfish blob, Beck. I think we all are. I mean, Beck quite literally had to leave with $100 to their name, but gosh darn it, they did it. And they're doing well now. We love to see it. Potato Head, hi. Being linked to the Amberverse is like an STD. The gift that keeps on giving. Toad David, thank you. Amber's moose knuckles could knock out a moose. Oh my gosh. When you bring up Amberlynn's knuckles like that, the only thing I think of is when Amy Slayton did that parody of Amberlynn where she put like black marker on her knuckles. Gosh. Amy, oh my gosh. Kel, thank you. Thank you for streaming. Can you tell my boyfriend Nathan he's part of Girl World whether he likes it or not? We watch your streams together, Nathan. I'm sorry. If you want to be a part of this relationship, if you still want to be involved with things, you're going to need to get on board with this. Oh boy, I sound like Amberlynn. Sorry, Nathan, you're a part of this. You've been coerced into Girl World. Remy Star, thank you. I just converted my pug to Girl Worldism. Oh, hey. Well, hey, we love the furry friends of Girl World. We really do. No back door open either. Thank you, Remy. All right, guys. I think that is going to be it for our Tuesday night live stream. I really appreciate you all being here. Tons disclosed in this newest Q&A. Oh my gosh. Maybe we'll have to do a part 2 of our own. I don't know. There are things on the horizon. Apparently, Alexis has made an upload if you guys want to check that out. New tea was spilled in it, allegedly. And tomorrow's an upload day. So I suppose we will have to take a look at what is going to be on the table for our shenanigans tomorrow. But thank you to everyone who was here tonight. I really appreciate your participation. Really appreciate you contributing to my community. It's very generous of you. Everything that is sent in, I really appreciate you guys. You mean the world to me. If you wouldn't mind, before Xing out of the app, press the thumbs up button. It would help the algorithm things, purposes, everything of that. So I would appreciate it. Have a good rest of your night, guys. Take care. Go warm. Go warm. Stay warm. Go forth. That. and be normal, of all things. Oh, Rogue Embrace sneaking in real quick at the end here. Another Super Chat V card to you. I think the mods got to get these I think mods got to get these guys Duncan on Beck. The victim blaming is insane. Oh my gosh. Oh, jeez. Thank you so much for that, Rogue Embrace. I really appreciate that. Thank you for your Super Chat V card. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Who knows what'll happen in the